Have y'all seen the farmers speaking out, warning about what's to come? Like, I know all of our algorithms have people from China telling us how like advanced they really are and how we really do suck, and we spend 10 times the amount of stuff that it costs them to make. But yeah, the farmers are speaking out. They are sounding the alarm bells. They are talking about our food and the food supply. Truckers are talking about loads that they are picking up that do not have the same weight that they're used to. They're having to drive farther and longer and pick up less, which means they get paid less. If you are not growing a garden, if you do not have seeds and some soil in a pot on your windowsill, please do that today. Tomatoes are easy to grow. Get you some tomatoes, some peppers. Microgreens are super easy. They come up really quickly. You need rice and beans. Even if you can't get anything else, get some rice, some beans, and some salt. Y'all, there are people that will starve. They are cutting off food assistance to elderly people. Meals on Wheels. I get it. I get that people are saying, oh, it's not going to be that bad, or we just need fair trade. This is not about that. This is about cleansing the population of undesirables. And that's what they're doing. That's the goal. The goal is to get rid of who they say are the weakest among us. And that means people that are elderly or people that are disabled, children. They're not interested in rehabilitation. It's literally like survival of the fittest. So I'm about to go do some stuff in my garden. Hopefully my oxygen absorbers come in today. I've got some rice and beans that I need to pack, but y'all, anything, I'll get you a couple of, beans from the dollar store. Y'all, you can get a 20-pound bag of rice from your local grocery store for $12, $13. Get you that and some beans, and if that's all you have, that rice and beans is a complete protein. Please do something.
It's Will, and I'm here at the mushroom house at the farm. And I got to be honest with you right up front, there's no way to make this video without it sounding like an I told you so video. And I apologize for that ahead of time, but the truth is it's got to be told. Many of you remember before the election, I did several videos where I tried to speak to rural America, particularly farmers and ranchers, to talk to them about the ramifications of a second term for Donald Trump. And in several of those videos, I talked about the fact that if we were to elect Donald Trump and he were to impose a second round of tariffs on China, the results would be devastating. And if you think hard about it, you'll remember what we talked about. Number one, we talked about the fact that China wasn't prepared for the tariffs in the first Trump administration. They had a disease going through their hog population. They didn't have good stocks of row crops. So they were caught off guard, and they had to continue to buy some American pork and some American row crop products in order to survive the tariffs, especially the time of C-19. But we also talked about what's happened since then. The Chinese no longer have a disease going through their pork population, and they're well stocked in pork. And in addition to that, they've reached out to South America and made best friends with the governments of Brazil and Argentina. And they are importing a lot of wheat and corn and soybeans from South America, to the point where Brazil, which used to supply China with only 13% of their row crops, is now supplying them with over 43% of their row crops. And that relationship is just getting cozier and cozier. And we talked about the fact that if we were to impose another round of tariffs on China, it would be devastating for row crop farmers, because since China is more prepared, not only would they be less likely to continue to buy row crops from Americans and from American farmers, they would also impose reciprocal tariffs of their own that would be devastating for row crop farmers in America. And guys, that's exactly what's happened. That's exactly what's happened. And again, this isn't an I told you so video, but it sure as hell is I wish you would listen video. Because on Friday, the Chinese told the 3 largest soybean distributors in this country that sell the beans that farmers raise in this country to China, you can no longer do business here. Your contracts are canceled, your licenses are canceled. In addition to that, they placed their own reverse tariffs on all different kinds of categories: pork, beef, corn, fowl, poultry. And remember what we said, those studies that had been done by the American Soybean Association, by the corn growers before the last election, that if these tariffs took place again, it would cost soybean farmers 37 billion metric tons of soybean sales to China and around the world. And with corn, it could cost as much as 80% of the corn sales in this country. And here we go. Top 3 soybean sales companies in this country, their licenses to sell to China have been canceled. Chinese are saying, we don't want your beans anymore. And now we face the same thing, the same threat that we warned would happen before the last election, happening now to corn as well. And we're talking billions of dollars worth of corn sales. There's no way a paltry $526 million ethanol fuel program sponsored by the Trump administration in Iowa is going to make up for the billions of dollars in lost corn sales we are going to have because of these tariffs. And look at what happened today. I got up this morning, and while I was drinking my coffee up here at the farm, I listened to TikTok after TikTok of Trump supporters saying, well, he proved it today. The market's up 700 points. We're getting back all these gains. All these countries are coming to the table. And then what did we learn? When they asked the White House, you're claiming China wants to make a deal. Have you talked to China? No, we haven't. Have they said what kind of a deal they want? No, they haven't. Well, you're claiming South Korea wants a deal. Have you talked to them? Yes, we have. Have they talked about what kind of a deal they want? No, they haven't. And the truth of the matter is the market saw bullshit. And then what did the White House do? This afternoon, they announced that they're going to impose 104% tariffs on China, and the market lost every single one of the gains that it gained earlier today because there is chaos in the marketplace. People do not know how to plan for this, and this administration is woefully unprepared to do battle with the Chinese. I'm just telling you guys, this administration, when it comes to agriculture and rural policy, they're not playing chess. They're not playing checkers. They're sitting in the corner playing with themselves. There's no other way to put it, because everything they're doing from a policy perspective and an action perspective is failing. And now the chickens are coming home to roost. Why am I making this video? It's not to say I told you so. It's to say get off your butts. Republicans and independents and Democrats, all 3 of you. But I know the Democrats are doing the hard work. Get off your butts and make those calls to those Republican policy holders, those Republican office holders, those Republican politicians, and tell them to take back their power on these tariffs so that they can stop what's happening. There's no positive trend going on here, guys. I'm telling you right now, read the markets. Go out there and read the data from these conservative agricultural organizations that have no love for Democratic politicians, that are telling us that shit is going south in a hurry. Farmers have already taken out their loans. They've already put a lot of their crops in the ground. If there are no sales and there are no subsidies, it will be too late for small farmers and ranchers. So get up, Republicans. You Republican farmers, get up and make those calls. Don't allow your cattlemen organizations to speak for you. Don't allow the Farm Bureau to speak for you. You make the calls yourselves to these politicians that you voted for and tell them you expect them to take their power over these tariffs back and to stop this freight train before it goes off the cliff. Because left to their own devices, this administration is not going to stop it. That's your call to action. Will you heed it? I don't know, but I hope so. Because if you don't, J.D. Vance and all of his friends at Acre Trader are going to make a hell of a lot of money come the end of this year when the harvest comes in and there's no place to sell.
Farmers are sounding the alarm of crops that are rotting, truckers not picking up and transporting as much as they usually do. It's coming, folks. If you're not stocking up food, rice and beans. You hear it everywhere, rice and beans. Inexpensive, but they'll keep you alive. As they take these programs from people who rely on these things for food. Medication's now going to go through the roof for the elderly, the sick, the disabled. They're literally going to starve people to death or allow them to perish because they can no longer afford medications, life-saving medications that they can barely afford now. There's a reason for it all, and the cruelty is the point. Rice and beans, if nothing else. Prepare yourselves. They're sounding the alarm. I hope you're listening. Take care.